Hi guys, my name is Natalie.
I'm Taylor.
And today we're going to be teaching you about how to do skin folds. Skin folds are an estimation of body fat percentage, and we're going to be using these 7 sites to get measurements and then add them all together, and you're going to use them in an equation later on.
The tools that you will need to use today is a skin fold caliper and a tape measure. The skin fold caliper will always go in your right hand, and the tape measure will only need it to be used on 3 sites.
Really quickly, we're just going to run through these 7 sites. So 3 of them are going to be diagonal and 4 of them are going to be vertical. You can remember which one it's going to be because the vertical lines will always follow a long bone, such as the tricep is going to follow the humerus, the mid-axillary and the abdomen are going to follow the spine, and the thigh is going to follow the femur. And then your diagonal marks are going to be marked by X's because they are on a curved part of the body.
You and your partner will each have 2 trials. If the second measurement or the first measurement are not within 2 millimeters of one another, then a third trial is going to be needed. You will not ever do a trial back to back within each other. You will take turns and separate the 2. When you do your third trial, you're going to take the 2 closest measurements and take the average of both of those in order to get yourself. It's important to remember that every measurement that you take is going to be taken on the right side of the person's body. When doing the chest, men and women are going to be measured differently. This is the only time that you will have to measure differently based on sex. So, women, you're going to measure the third of the distance between the little armpit crease and about the nipple line, whereas men, it's going to be half the distance. So, here on Corey, I'm going to put this tape measure starting about here in the armpit crease. I'm going to go about the nipple line. So her number is about 6. So I would take 2 and I would make an X diagonal mark right there. So it'll look like this. Next I'm going to do the tricep. Now when measuring the tricep, you're going to go from the acromion process to about middle of the elbow. So I'm going to start here and go down. So it's about 14. So you're going to take half of that, which would be 7. So that's going to be right here. So I'm going to go here, and this is going to be a vertical line because it's following this long bone right here. Next, we're going to do subscapular. If you have an issue finding this on your partner, you can ask them to make a little chicken wing motion. You're going to go right here at the inferior apex of the scapula. Okay, do my marker. And you're going to go about right under that. Like so. Next, we're going to find the mid-axillary point. The first step into finding this one is going to be asking your person to locate their xiphoid process. Corey has located hers. Next, you're going to follow a straight line to where her frontal plane would run with her person. In her case, her T-tattoo actually makes the perfect mark for our next vertical location. Next, we're going to do the abdomen. The abdomen is also going to be a vertical mark. So if we zoom in here, you're going to locate her belly button and go 2 centimeters over to the right of her belly button. And that would be the abdomen. Next, we're going to do the superiliac. This one is going to be a diagonal mark. You're going to go and find your iliac crest. Corey's is about right here. And you're just going to make a diagonal mark right above that iliac crest. Next, we're going to do the thigh. The thigh is also a vertical mark. So the first thing we're going to ask our person to do is shift all of their weight onto their left foot. Next, I'm going to ask Corey to flex her hip for me. A little lower, please. Beautiful. You're going to go and find the crease of where her leg is making. You can put your leg down, thank you. And then you're going to find her mid-patella. So now I'm going to measure from that crease to her mid-patella, which would be about 17, and I'm going to take half of that, which would be about 8.5. Thank you. So I'm going to make that mark. Again, we're going to do it vertically, and that would be our thigh mark.
Okay, as Taylor said earlier in the video, you're going to want to hold your tool in your right hand at all times. First, we're going to start with a diagonal mark on Corey's chest. So your fingers are going to want to clamp following this line right here. So you're going to squeeze right above it and then take your tool and set it about 1 centimeter below your fingers. You don't want the tool and your fingers touching. Let it rest, and then you can get that measurement. Next, we're going to do the tricep, which is a vertical mark. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab right above following this line, take our calipers and align it with that line that we made. not touching our fingers, let go, and then you get the reading. Next, we're gonna do sub-scap. So you're gonna grab right above that line that we made, align your calipers with the line, not touching your fingers, and then let go and get that reading. And mid-axillary is gonna be another vertical one. So that T is where Corey's was. Let go, and then that's your reading. And then the abdomen is another vertical one. So go ahead and pull, and then that's your reading. And then the suprailiac is another diagonal one. So you're just gonna go like that. The thigh is gonna be our last measurement. It's another vertical, and I wanted to mention that for all of your measurements, especially this one, it's really important that when you're pulling the skin, you're grabbing it tight enough to pull away from the muscle. It might hurt the client just a little bit, but it's only for a couple seconds, and you wanna get that most accurate reading. So we're gonna do the same thing, and we're really gonna make sure that we're pulling the skin away from the muscle on our reading, and then we can let go. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching, and a reminder from earlier in the video, you never want to take skin fold sites one after another, so you're going to want to run through all 7 and then do all 7 again. And like Taylor said earlier, if you need a third, you're going to take the average between the 2 closest numbers.
Well, thank you. That pretty much sums up our skin fold unit. It is important to remember that this takes a very long time to get really good at, so there is going to be a lot of error throughout the beginning and throughout the entirety of the semester. It is important to also remember that this is not an exact measurement, that these are all predictions, that you will take the sum of your skin folds, and Professor Bruce will show you how to use that for your equations later on in class. Thank you.